light from the plants. And so that's how we get this test that's completely accurate. And we're able to test images because it's a reflection of the biophoton. And so we're in this new dimension, and I believe it's going to be it is the medicine for the coming millennium. Because we can take somebody who just gets a little sniffle, fix it with God's, nature's formulas,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't ever linger. When I talk about biofilms a lot, this is part of the infection problem in medicine, is that these infections are just rampant, and they can't be fixed in the current medical status. So we have to go natural, and the biophotonic test, quantum forensics, it enables us to see with energetic eyes what's going on anywhere in the body.
That's but this vibrate really good. We've got
I lost you a little bit, so
yes,
if
it's just a little glitchy. You are a
yeah,
spiritual being having a world experience. So there's a
yes,
lot of photons and electrical energy that is coming from the sun these days,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's definitely cranking on the internet and cell phones and
right,
everything.
right.
Uh, we're not going to have those much longer, right? So
Yes,
they're
yes,
going to get fried. But
yeah.
in the meantime, we're going to do our best to inform everybody before this start to lose contact. So you're going to be on your own. But I think we still have time. Maybe a year, maybe more. But
Yeah, that's a good estimate. I'm with you there.
one of those is understanding your illuminescence and so forth, like you're talking
Yes,
about.
yeah,
We all have it. All living things have it.
right,
Even non living things actually have it,
right,
right?
right.
Because I pick up on energies within non living things
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Vehicles, my weapons, they have my
yes,
energy on them.
yes,
So everything has a level. Maybe it takes many months and years of you listening to us talk about all this stuff, and then it finally starts to click. But whenever it starts to click, it takes your consciousness and your understanding of things to another level. So the great explanation. That's where we're at now. You've done some work with that to help me, to help other people. Over time, you've talked about how you've helped turn people around. We have very good products to increase the bioluminescence that's been compromised. That's the Intuitive Warrior line, Intuitive Nutrition line. So it is very it's lots of problems out there right now because
huge.
they've seeded our field with stuff that causes problems on purpose. So we know that they're trying to decrease humanity's numbers on a massive scale. And we're fighting against that. And we're fighting against everyone at one time that we trusted. Everything has been compromised. And of course, we have President Trump, uh, God given to us, and his team that are helping turn this around. Even there's this one guy that does. I wish his name just slipped my mind, but he's used to do Christian, revival type things, and he would Kim Clement. So Kim Clement even said years and years ago that President Trump, before President Trump was really
Anything,
anybody,
right,
that President Trump would be. He said DJ. I see DJT, and I see Kennedy aligned with them. So and now we have that. You have basically two presidents that are working for you right now. So it's a magnificent time frame, but you have to be open minded about a lot of things. So I've done a lot of talking now. I'm gonna let you run with the ball. So,
Yeah, no, that's good stuff. I appreciate that. His journey is definitely a God thing. It's incredible. I can't think of any other sort of presidential journey in all of our country's history quite like his. Just unreal. You might compare it with like the Lincolns and the Washingtons, from what we understand of what their journey was like. And that's how I view him too. So, even though I don't agree with a lot of stuff, and I'm of course, because of what's being revealed right now, we're sort of suspicious about a lot of things, and that may not go away until sort of this is all fixed. But no, he's pretty incredible, and I really respect, because I think it's really God's journey. So I'm like, we're along for the ride. And I am very prayerful, because what I see in my scan, I promised you guys last week, remember we talked about the vaccine? We'll check his arms for you. Well, we did, and it's not great. So I'll kind of show that to you, in the next few minutes, or as soon as we get a chance to do that. But yeah, his journey is unbelievable, and it's none of us are separated from what happens to him. Matter of fact, I feel like personally, like where he goes, to a large degree, we go. And so he's in my prayers continually. And I honestly, in the past, I haven't really done that. I haven't really prayed and offered support to a president, because I just felt like they were pretty much all compromised. And I was very busy in my own world doing my own thing, like a lot of us are. But this is a big deal for us and the nation right now, what
yeah.
he's about.
Now, another thing we talked about last Wednesday when we brought this up was when you do the uh, biophoton scan,
Yep.
if you're doing the right Trump, because there's unquestionably body doubles out there.
Right.
So have you taken that into account?
I would have to. That's a great question. So the Trump that we saw in this image, he has some issues. And so it would be really a really interesting experience to like get together with you and get some images of the different Trumps that you see, and then to scan a few different ones to see if the results are the same or different. Because if they're different, the test doesn't lie. And if they're different, that would be also an indication that it is a different Trump. Matter of fact, the test is so accurate, I think they should use it in court. As soon as somebody lies, it shows up in the test. If you're telling the truth, it shows up in the test. So it's really an amazing, it's a way to just listen to everything that's going on in the biofield of the body.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a fun.
Even plants have this. I've read so many books about this. The plant biofield. I've seen people how they tap into it, and they
Right.
play classical music, and
That's
it's amazing. And
right.
this one guy that would hook him up to lie detector, test. He wrote a book about this, and I've talked about this many times, of how he had one guy come in, and there was like these plants, and this guy came in and basically tore one of these plants apart, killed it, and then he left. And so he was going to test to find out if the other plants knew who the culprit was. So he would have all these different people come in from his team,
Yeah.
and he's testing the plant, and nothing. And then this guy showed up, and it went off the scale. It's like, so this field of consciousness
Yeah.
is quite substantial. Now, the guy that was doing, and maybe we can come up with some of these pictures and some video. I don't know. This is probably a little bit deeper than maybe we want to go, but I've seen other people talk about it. But the guy that was playing golf while President Trump was not around for several days. Now he could not have been around for several days planning what's coming, and that's going to be troops going into big cities. All right, there's a lot of stuff going on with that. I'm not going into detail about that. I will do that in my afternoon show at 5. But
Okay.
the one guy that was on the golf course looks like he's 20 to 30 pounds heavier than even Trump is. He didn't have the wrinkles that Trump does. His ear was different. And he walked. He didn't walk very good. I've seen Trump walking around. He doesn't seem like he has too much of a problem. But what are your thoughts?
It sure could be. I would defer to you on that, but it sure could be. And it would be a blast to be able to test that, because we could definitely tell. The Trump that we tested, that we'll show you guys in a while, has some serious issues. And that would be my contention, that he's in a struggle. If this was the original Trump or whoever, he's in a serious struggle.
All right. Well,
And-
let's go into it.
Okay.
Because I know that one of Joe Biden's doubles, because all the people that we saw that were playing Joe Biden was gone. He never was president. So all the people that were playing him, there were some of them that had health issues.
Yeah.
And they even accidentally mentioned it. One guy even said, when I had cancer, Joe Biden, as far as we know, never had cancer. So
Right.
there's slip ups like that that happen with the body doubles. They give us, and I think some of that is they were actually giving us clues that it was a body double on purpose. Now, is Trump doing that? No, I don't believe so. They have to have a body double for different occasions for whatever reasons. That's been something that's been done since the kings and queens of England and France, you name it, all the former people in royalty, even still to this day, have body doubles.
It only makes sense. Totally, it does. Sometimes I wish I could afford a bunch of body doubles. We talk about it around the house, like, oh, if I could just duplicate myself, I could accomplish more. But yeah, I know that's a different scenario. But when you pointed out Biden stuff, I was like, oh yeah, you're totally right. I could see it. I have a little more trouble with the Trump thing. So, and even the Hillary stuff, I was like, oh yeah, that's obvious, But with Trump, I have trouble seeing it, and it could be because I'm not paying enough attention. I'm just so busy. But
Yep.
But this one's kind of has some issues, and I'll go ahead and share my screen.
So in the chat, I knew it was going to happen because I've seen it, since we talked about it, and I've talked about it on a couple of shows, that people are very, very protective of Trump. They see him as a savior, and any mention at all of any kind of problems, they're going to attack. They become the attack dogs instead of the watchers, like I say you should be. All right.
Yes.
Observant, because this information needs to come out. All right. Now, maybe some of you remember back when we were young, right? Which is like 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
We remember when the press was, for the most part, good, and they would report the news, and it wouldn't be, they weren't reporting what they were told to report. That would be the compromised news, right? So they did research, they dug down and did, the stuff and found out stuff for us. That's what we are doing now, guys. So we look at stuff and like I said in our last show, I knew that Trump was probably going to have problems halfway in before he even became president, right? So I didn't talk about it, but it's coming to the point where it needs to be talked about, right? So you need to prepare. You need to prepare for emergencies. So if he gets a heart attack or something like that,
yes,
you've been informed and you're not surprised, and you don't blow a gasket, and we continue on we continue on this fight with or without Trump. You have to take that type of mentality.
That's really important because we have learned, and it'll show up in a couple other slides that I have to show. We've really learned to wait on everybody else, the pastors, the politicians, the police, the teachers. Everybody else is doing everything for us, raising our own kids for the most part. And we've been sort of hands off, and it's here's what we got. But I look at him, and you and I have talked about this, where I think I see Trump in the prophecies, where the Father's calling him his companion, and even his anointed one. I know that's a term that he's used for Cyrus that we talked about in the ancient times. But some of the prophecies, they don't connect with Cyrus or Jeroboam or some of the other kings that we saw. They only seem to line up with Trump in the end of the end of an era of time, and I think it's Donald Trump. So I definitely think he's God's guy. He's none of the kings have ever been perfect. Like, remember David? He killed one of his friends and took his wife. That kind of stuff. Like, so nothing's going to be perfect, but I definitely believe that he's God's guy for the moment right now. And I've said before, I see him being cut off, and it could be showing up in this scan as an example. I can't say that I know, but that's my opinion. That's what I'm seeing. So in this picture, we talked about this in the past, where we saw infection in his right upper molars, and then moving on, we did this we tested both of his arms. And then we found vaccines in the right arm that were significant. And if you want, if we have time before we leave the show, I can give you the Trump protocol, what I would do with him out of Michael's store and with LifeWave, and where I would do it and how much I would do it. And I think it'll be fun. But so we found that on his upper molars. And then we found, this is just a reference code for what's going into the muscle. That's biofilm and, of course, toxin in that location. And then we went into the cardiac area, and it was very significant. His doses were very high for certain anti-infective, anti-biofilm nutrients out of the store, right at his cardiovascular. So he's got some issues that are going to be really important. And it's fascinating that Fox News the left's plan, wait for Trump to die. So I don't know if that's, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Michael? I just found that this morning, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know. Is there a larger plot to actually assassinate him, or do they know about some of this as well? But anyway, we're seeing significant infection. So right out of the store, we would detoxify, and then we would nourish all of these other locations. So I'm going to go ahead and come back to you while we talk about it.
Yeah. So, he's constantly targeted. They've been trying to poison him many times. I've been poisoned. There's lots of people who have been poisoned in the truth community. Many of them have died.
Yes.
Right? So it is an ongoing problem. Now a lot of people are like, well, why doesn't he just get into the med bed, right? So the med beds are for the secret space program guys. They're not for us down here yet, right? There's still a consciousness issue that we have here on Earth. Now maybe he has, maybe that's why he's still alive for a couple of different times. I don't know, but there's a lot of people that have begged for a med bed. They have begged for a med bed through the Trump administration, and they don't get any answers. So, and I know a lot of these people. So, I don't know that it's available to anyone yet. But I do know that it is real to a certain extent. We are getting little pieces, and I see people in the chat have really good information. Of course, we have excellent, products that will help you turnaround, you know, biofilm and infections and you know, shots and vaccines and all the kind of stuff that's out there to poison us, chemtrailing, everything. So there is, you know, remedies that are out there that are just as good as anything that's ever been. We go back to Atlantean times. You know, I think we're in some cases we are possibly surpassing the technology and the capabilities of Atlantean times. So we're at the same level again. Atlantis collapsed through infiltration, like we're seeing right now, and suppression, and then, you know, everything got taken down. All right, so we're sitting at the precipice of that again. Now, I think that Trump, you know, has been poisoned. I think he's been attacked, probably heart attack machine, all kinds of different things. I can tell you from my own experience, when you get hit with a heart attack machine, it kind of lingers, right? It lingers. It does cause damage, even if you survive it, which I've done.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that, you know, that has been. Of course, you know, we saw I believe it was staged because they knew that he was going to be. There was going to be an assassination of him at the in Pennsylvania, Butler, Pennsylvania, and they captured everything and they staged it like it was supposed to be. That's my opinion. I've talked about it with other experts. All of us are of the same opinion. So, and then some people just don't understand and don't want to accept, and they just say, and just, you know, just not going to. You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, really. So, you, and it's kind of the same situation we're right now.
Yeah.
You and I, especially you, you're going to tell us we don't know what we're talking about. So, we're at that point where we have the technology, we have the information, we have the ingredients,
Yes.
if you will, that could turn around pretty much anything out there right now,
Yes.
if done in the proper protocols and so forth.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I would love to see President Trump. He's even admitted that he wants Pfizer to come out with all the information that they gave to him, which I think he's seeing now was compromised. I'm kind of like, you know, didn't you know? Like I was under the impression that you were like, you know, pushing this warp speed because you knew that you needed to get it out before they got their stuff out. But maybe he didn't know that they were going to come out with a compromised stuff, and now he's finding out because he did for a long time, you know, brag that he'd gotten it out there. And if you don't want to do the vaccination plan, you don't have to. And then, you know, a lot of people have talked about it. We've gone over this so many times. I mean, we're not even going to talk about that, right? But that is something that's a possibility since you're seeing some vaccination problems with him.
Yeah.
So yeah, go into that a little bit more detail. What you're seeing.
It really, because of the biophotonic dimension, it could be honestly, it could be a vaccine from his military service. It could be that old. It wouldn't have to be a recent vaccine, because the vaccine can't be removed and the body cannot get to it. And so it tends to share toxins into the DNA, into the lymphatics, into the fluids of the body, and the body can't clear it. It can't clear a biofilm out of a vaccine ever until we actually go in and do it manually with our superfoods and our clays and things like that, where we can take it out. So it could be an old vaccine. And so in the biophotonic dimension, it's the beauty of this technology, this art, and this science about light that we're able to see in this dimension. And so this is a first time that we're able to now look and see into this dimension. So it looks like maybe we lost Michael, and I'm not sure. So I guess I'll just keep going. And I'm not going to be able to share my screen if you guys are all still with me. So to be able to see into this biophotonic dimension, like be able to look at Trump um, while he's talking or whatever he's doing. We're able to just see into his biophotonic dimension and to get a read on any place where there's what we call chaos. Now, this is what the quantum physics that Fritz Popp said, that where there's chaos, in other words, that DNA communication through the body, where there's chaos, it begins always in the light, and then the biophysical degradation or the immune degradation begins to happen. But it always starts with the light, and the return to health always starts in the light as well. So when we talk about coherent light, that's what we're talking about. Everything we touch, we want it to be coherent. Our supplements, our food, our relationships. And what is the enemy doing? Exactly everything opposite. They want chaos, toxins, infection. All of that brings chaos into that biofield light. And you were talking a little bit ago about the med bed. And I haven't shared this with you yet, but we've developed a mini med bed. And this little device we use to bring coherence from the Earth's energies, the Hartmann and Schumann energetic waves. And this little guy gathers them and then dumps them into the body. And we get full coherence in the biofield for 5-10 minutes at a time. So people that are sick, we have them use it while they're taking their supplements. And in some ways, Michael, it's similar to the patches because it raises coherence in the biofield also. And that's one of the reasons we love the patches, is because it will raise coherent in the biofield without any, of course, we are substance. So we want to take, the perfect foods and superfoods. But the patches help raise coherence also anywhere in the field, and that's one of the things that we would use with Trump as well. Is we'd patch him up. We call it around here, patch it up, baby.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm surprised that if maybe he does use them, I don't know, but I know RFK Jr. uses the patches, so we've seen him on them. We even have somebody in our group that was involved in patching him. So it's going to be be hit or miss going forward. Now let's come back to what you would supply him with, and you've talked about this over several shows. How to overcome the vaccine poisoning. Pulling it from your body and
right.
all that stuff. So let's go into all of these peer-reviewed doctors. I think it's 27 or something like that, that are, and we've talked about this several times, but it seems like it's really starting to come to a head. And I think that's one of the reasons why President Trump is like, okay, Big Pharma, you guys said that your vaccine was good. Come out with information now. And it's all crickets right now. So you're having these doctors come out and say 1/3 of humanity is going to be gone. And what, next year, a couple of years? What's
Yeah, I think it was 28. We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
And so in light of that, I'll just share my screen with that article again. So 27 peer-reviewed doctors stated 100% of those who are vaccinated will die by 2028 due to the mRNA tech. And so this is actually what we're seeing. So because of that, some people are reporting that states are beginning to declare public health emergencies over soaring infant deaths links to transgenerational mRNA fatal adverse events. So basically what that's saying is that the shot that the mother got, or maybe even the father, and there's some shedding going on, but mostly the mother got an injection, and so the babies are dying in large part. And so here it talks about Mississippi state officials declared a public health emergency due to the highest infant mortality rate in the past decade. And I contend, Michael, when they say the past decade, fuck that. Excuse my language. That's bullshit. This is the highest infant mortality rate ever, period, in the world. Don't give me this in the past 10 years. That's garbage that's coming out of like that. That's just reverberation from mainstream. They always do that. Oh, it's the worst in 10 years. No, this is the worst ever. And it's really important. So here's a U.S. representative, Greg Steube, Republican from Florida, introducing what they call the GRACE Act to give children religious vaccine exemptions in all 50 states. And so that would be profound. And also in Florida, thank goodness, the Florida, I think it's the Surgeon General of Florida. This guy's been very vocal about the
Oh
vaccine.
yeah.
And so in Florida will be the first state to end all vaccine mandates for school. So I guess, I've been like really mad about this for a couple of days. So I want to come so I can see you and talk to you. I want to come back to your screen because I'm like, you guys, do we have to wait for a politician to do this for us again? Like Michael has been saying over and over again, and I've been saying over and over again, why can't we do this ourselves by first saying no and then start suing the brains? Can you imagine like one school that asked, 300 new students to get a vaccine and 100 parents sue the school? That would end it. We don't have to wait for a politician. We have to start, pull out our spear, pull out our trident, our Navy SEAL sort of testicles, and jump into the fray of this.
Yeah.
I just we don't have a choice. We can't just sit around waiting for a politician. The GRACE Act would be great. The idea that Florida schools would cancel all that would be awesome, but we can't wait for them. Our kids are dying. And I think Elon, you've pointed out, and I think Elon Musk has said, we're at a negative birth rate now and survival rate where from conception to age 18 is the most dangerous time in life. And there's nobody that's going to protect that except us dads and moms and grandparents and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm like, we can't wait for these clowns anymore. Matter of fact, this is, I got to show this because this disgusts me. This guy just resigned, just now after all this time with Trump. This clown who's a director of the National, of the National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases. And here he is. He's got a Satan cross under his shirt on his chest. And of course, these are images of him. So this guy has been in charge of telling you what to do about your kids' immunization and respiratory health. Really?
I'd like somebody to decipher some of those tattoos those guys have on them. So it's probably pretty demonic cult stuff. Yeah.
Demonic, exactly. So demons, maybe demon possessed and satanically influenced people have been making the recommendations along with Fauci and others and Gates to vaccinate. Here's your schedule of 70 vaccinations for 0 to 18 years old. And let's not wait for DeSantis and this representative to do it for us. I'm like, let's make Michael's audience the tip of the spear that we plunge into these schools. We can do it locally. And so let's do it, you guys.
Yeah, pretty much the kids these days definitely need to be the de-vaccine protocol.
Yeah.
With the clays. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Wow. And I know that you've done that with children before. Tell us the results of that. You've talked about that in the past. Been a while. So talk about some of that.
Well, children are incredible. A lot of times what we would get is, children that would go from normal, get vaccinated, and now they're on the spectrum from the injury. And we could talk about why, sometime in the future. But so we go in right away and remove the vaccine. And with the protocols that we still have, I think, in the show notes, and then of course the ingredients, the nutrients, the super nutrients, and the clays are in the store. We'll go into that infant and we'll do as many packs as it takes to cleanse the shot out of their, with babies they use the inner and outer thigh, but on an adults or teenagers they'll use the shoulders. So we'll do as many packs as it takes to eradicate that from the shot site and any lingering sites like a lymphatic tract or even possibly a liver. We'll use the mud packs on all of those locations, lung points, anywhere in the body that the biophoton scan shows us that there's still residue of the super toxins that are in the shots. And then we will develop protocols from inside the store that will eradicate the biofilm and parasites and things like that that are also coming in through the shots. So these kids have a chance, and we've even had parents that are so afraid of the doctors. This is what irritates me also. Like, so they'll go, well, we took our child in to get a shot so we could get him in school, and then we ran over here to have you guys remove the shot. That's great. I appreciate that, but I want parents to stand up and say, no, if you want to do this, you're going to be personally liable, and I'm just going to sue your brains out and arrest you. But it's a beautiful thing because babies and children, we can release vaccine trauma and vaccine toxins 10 times faster than an adult because their biophotonic field is so much higher resonating. And as we age, in adults sometimes, like you've talked about military vaccines where we had like a Navy SEAL type saying, they told me that this vaccine was called the beast or the plague. And it took us unreal. It was like 80 packs to finally eradicate and remove that vaccine out of his arm. And then also super nutrients to clear the biofilm from internally. But it's so beautiful to be able to see everything. Nothing gets past us with the biofield and the scans.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, question, it's boomer. Were early vax bad? Yes.
Yes.
All vax are bad, guys.
Yes.
I've heard this from a lot of different experts as well as Raphael. And I've known so many families, third generation families that have never been vaccinated.
Yeah.
They homeschooled and everything, and they never got vaccinated, and they're the healthiest people ever. So obviously, the vaccination program, the way it was designed, was just a money-making scheme. We've talked about that with the Rockefeller, medical, compromise that happened.
Right.
They're all about making money and causing us to get unhealthy so that they can make money off us as we slowly die.
Yes.
So it is any vaccination is bad at this point. You shouldn't be vaccinating.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point.
No. If somebody is saying, well, you got to get vaccinated, otherwise you can't do this or that, then you don't do that, guys. You have to stand up to this. That's what we're talking about.
And we shouldn't have to wait. It should have already been happening. And the reason it hasn't, and that's this, we track and trace every vaccine for what happens afterwards. And this is another black hole in healthcare where they don't track and trace these children. Otherwise, they would know what we already know, that all of these chronic and oftentimes acute illnesses, such as cancers in a 4-year-old, really? Never before. So these illnesses, they don't want to track and trace them. They want us to run off in fear back to the hospital. And here we are in another, $4 trillion market for them, while, just like you said, while we just die faster. And so just saying no is the first phase of just no more. And I think if we have time, like in Florida and maybe in other places, as the vaccine rates decline, they're going to see like these babies, where we're seeing this super spike in infant mortalities, super spike in childhood cancers. We're going to see those drop completely back to zero.
Yeah, we're going to
Once,
start seeing super babies again, super
yes,
kids. Yep.
yes, yeah,
Doing like the president's health,
yeah,
test and
yeah,
scoring big, getting
right.
medals and all that stuff. So yeah, it's going to prove itself
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
as we move forward. But we have to overcome the brainwashing. I know a lot of people aren't going to accept it. I found out 5 years ago that the vaxes and I got away from doing vaxes so many times in the SEAL teams. We are like, yeah, we got vaccinated, and all those, we just signed off, and we were like, screw that shit. And so
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
all healthy. Why would we get vaccinations? None of us ever get sick.
right,
So, and that's the way it'll be going forward. Kids aren't going to get sick anymore. It's going to be
right.
fantastic. Of course, there's still injuries that happen. You have to go to the hospital and get bone set and all that kind of stuff. But
Of course.
and those are the doctors we can still depend on. But the other ones are pretty much compromised, unfortunately.
Yeah,
They've been programmed with a death, not a health. I will do everything in my power to keep people healthy and safe, and we should just replace that with I will do everything in my power to make sure I kill off as many people as possible. It's serious. And they don't understand it. They're brainwashed beyond belief, and you can't even talk sense into most of these doctors anymore.
I know it's very scary. That is very scary. And they can't even follow their own statistics. The doctors'
Right.
lifespans are like 30-40% shorter than everybody else. So
Mm-hmm.
it's very fascinating that it's almost like God Himself has blinded them. So you guys want to die young, go at it. You guys want to be sick and chronically ill, go ahead.
Yeah.
And we're actually all struggling, whatever chronic health issues that any of us have, they're as a result of the diseases aren't just showing up. They're a result of some or a series of events in our own life's journey that have caused this. And most of them, Michael, are medically induced. And we can see that in our tests, and even science will bear that out, that all of these toxins and things that are in the vaccines are just creating this super chronic and now acute death rates that are just off the charts. So once again, no is our answer.
Yep. Yep.
Yes.
You're gonna get some of that stuff out there. I get the mumps,
Yep.
and
Yep.
it was like everybody. It was like it went around. You tried to avoid it. You didn't get. The kids that they got the mumps didn't go to school. That's back when everyone looked out for everybody else. Now people just sick, just going wherever. We have walking time bombs all around us.
I know it. I know
People
it.
just shedding all kind of crazy crap on us now.
Yes.
So
Yes.
and for the most part they don't realize that. So I'm not going to knock a bunch of those people, but they poison themselves with vaccinations, even though there's so much information out there to counter that. So I think that's what we're probably going to see in the near term, where we're going to have President Trump really start to push on that. Of course, that's coming from RFK Jr., so he's getting informed, I guess, from him. And RFK Jr. is really knocking the crap out of the CDC and all that stuff and getting those demons out of there. So
Right.
now,
That's right.
Grace Act, will it save us?
Yeah, the Grace Act, that's one of the ones that we're waiting for from this Senator Greg Stube has introduced the Grace Act, where it's basically would be a federal legislation giving religious vaccine again back to all 50 states.
Nice.
And so that would be, fantastic. So we're rolling, if they do that, we're rolling things back to what they were when we were kids. If the parents said, no, it's no big deal, it doesn't happen. And this is how it should be. But Michael, it also makes me, I'm going to bring this up too, because this just happened in our area. But if I don't have time to tell this story, this is the county sheriff where we are dwelling, and also the Riverside County Sheriff, Chad Bianca, and he's been notorious in the media for really attacking Newsom, and he's running for governor himself.
Nice.
But one of the things, I've been chewing on this, and I'm like, these guys they're great. I really respect them. I appreciate them, but I have this deeper like soul thing that like there's something still really wrong where they just spent millions and millions of dollars and thousands of man hours and helicopters, like unbelievable, to locate this baby that had been murdered by its parents. And then I'm like, all of this and huge notoriety, and it's good. I want them to find people that are doing this. But then I'm like, in the larger, what I would call conspiracy, there's not one peep out of years of spraying right in their face. There's not one peep about this super spike in county statistics of children dying after they get the shot. Not one word. Not one word about the FBI's top national security threat, public corruption. Not one word. And so I can't help but to ask, is this part of the greater conspiracy where the larger issues that we're talking about week to week, where we're under attack, the guys who supposedly have the ultimate law enforcement authority in the county are silent? I'm going to come back to you now. And so I'm really pissed off about that, because I'm like, really? Your own grandbabies, your great grandbabies, your own sons and daughters, your brothers in arms in law enforcement are all getting sprayed on. They're all getting the vax that we talk about over and over, and not one word, not one. Are you guys like over vaxxed, or is this really part of the larger conspiracy?
Well, the vax does attack the brain.
The brain. The brain.
Not everybody, but a lot of the major organs get attacked with the biofilm, and a lot of heart inflammation and so forth. So that is one of the problems.
Huge. Yeah, it's huge. Yeah.
It goes after the brain as well.
So that's just my question for everybody, and for sheriffs especially. Why not? I want answers to that.
Most definitely. All right, so Black Hole of Death by Medicine.
Here we go again. So I'm going to bring a story for this one. So this was just a lovely woman who we got body scanned, and her dentist, she's showing with resting pulse of 120, fevers on and off, pneumonia every 2 weeks. Nobody could find it. She gets body scanned and oral scanned, and we find this. So this is this is one page on the oral scans report, Michael. So I call this the black hole because, guys, no dentist, no doctor, no cardiologist, no one is saying you have to find the biofilm. So we find this tooth. You can probably see it's not real clear from maybe on your scan, but right in the center of this crown, there's an old root canal. And so what we do is we mark up the report so she knows which tooth. And then these are all references. The spiral is indicating it's down in the root canal. The red circle with the dot is showing that it's significantly infected. And then the crack here shows there's probably a fracture in the whole thing. So when we do the coherent scan in the oral scan, we're looking for how much Intuostat and cardio, the intuitive cardio NF, that we have to bring into the biofield to get this tooth to come what we call coherent or high energy again. And in her case, it was like right here, it was 24 bottles for that one tooth and in the bone. So that's, Michael, that's like, what's that? 2 times 6 is 12. That's about 1,400 capsules of Intuostat for that one tooth. Now, if you had something, yeah, wow. And people are going, you're crazy. I'm not taking 1,400 capsules. And that's not what the capsules are for. We do find the dose at the heart, like with the Trump image, or the cardiovascular, or in her case, the lungs and the microbiome, wherever this biofilm is spreading to, will let the body tell us the highest dose that it needs to overcome this. But at 24 bottles, at 1,500 capsules, that tells us that we need the right dentist to go in and intervene into that tooth so that it comes back to coherence without any Intuostat in the future. So in other words, we have to eradicate this infection because it's literally killing this woman. She's now in ER status and she's like in her 30s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's incredible. She knows she's about ready to like expire. I'm going to come back to you and finish talking about her because she's just so lovely. And so her husband, being a renowned surgeon, is like, you got to also take antibiotics. This is how urgent. So they have her on high dose antibiotics. We have her on high dose super anti-infectives from the store, and she'll overcome it, but not until that tooth is gone. And so this is the black hole, is the biofilm that really was created back when penicillin and antibiotics were first introduced into society. Dr. Fleming said, don't use them because if you do, it will become the death of man. So then the journey is like with the disease discovery, we're going to show you and walk you back through your own life's journey so we can help you identify all of the moments in your journey that your body has not been able to overcome. And then we're going to help to show you how to identify those, how to find those in yourself, and then how to overcome those. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be the new one. And actually, everybody that's bought in the family pack from the old days is going to get that for free as well once that's done. So everybody's going to get it that's been part of that, the EMF harmonizers.
All right. So, the questions are, where do you find dentists that have insights on this? And that's through the site, right? Where people can sign up and do the test, and then they do you guys recommend dentists in people's area and stuff?
So what we do when you sign up for the oral scans, and I'll share with you what we're doing because of this last oral scans release. We're going to open up something called body scans.
Oh, good.
But what we do is we give you the full report, and the report in it has me talking to you orally. So you can go, it's like an audio flip book. You can go from page to page and I explain to you what's going on. And what I'm trying to do is to inform you of what's happening in your mouth and then try to teach you how to go talk to your dentist. I can't go out and talk to everybody's dentist. I don't have time. So I'm informing you in the report, and then I'm spending about 20 to 30 minutes with each one of you one-on-one to go through your scan and then to help you understand how to talk to your dentist, exactly what to do, exactly what to say. and working with them, or how to find one that does this advanced technology. Yes. And everyone has that in their area. Now, the thing is that's really critical, you guys, is because I've said this, and I'm like, I stand behind this 100%. Your dentist cannot find a bacterial biofilm. Robbie's dentist, those images I just showed you, her cardiologist, her husband, who's a top surgeon, her oral endodontist, oral surgeon, none of them could find it. Her dentist said there's nothing wrong, it's fine. So this is where we're going to have to go out and start retraining our dentists. So we'll help you find one that does these protocols that I teach you in the oral scans and body scans program, so that you can go out and develop a dentist in your area. So then your family can start going to it, because the goal is that we have like a child, your children or grandchildren, who gets a cavity and that's it. We fix it the right way with the advanced dentistry today. We have the ability to have a small cavity and just fix it like that fast. And then it lasts the rest of their life. It's so incredible. So this, I think this is like my most exciting opportunity I've ever seen. And right now the price did go up, you guys, but I'm going to give everybody that signs up now something really special. So the price went up to its normal price. And for the first, right now, I think it's 20, we're taking new patients. You also get the body scan with it. Now, this is normally $900 as well. And what that means is you'll get your teeth scanned, and then you'll get your body scanned, and you'll get reports on both of those. And I'll hold your hand and take you through protocols for both of those. Protocols meaning right out of the store. And if we had time, I don't know if we have time, Michael, but we could kind of walk through Trump's protocol just to give them an example.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so let me bring his image back. Let me bring you back to this image. All right, so right from Michael's store, the Trump protocols right now would be, of course, we would send him an oral scan report and make the dental recommendations. And then I would get on a live one-on-one session with the president and show him which teeth and tell him exactly how to do it. Then we would take his vaccine and we would use the muds and clays right out of the store, the Intuitive MediBody Effects and the Intuitive Ultra, and the Intuitive Oceans, and we would remove this vaccine. We would take as many packs as it takes to remove it. Now, if you have the body scans, once this is removed, we can test your image and tell you that it's gone. This is really exciting. So then for his cardiovascular, we would take him into the store and we would probably put him on 18 to 24 capsules of the Intuistat every day with about 3 tablespoons of the Intuitive Cardio NF. So that's going to be removing the biofilm that we see in the heart and the circulatory tree that we've shown for the last couple of weeks. And then we would high dose him with like the Intuitive Ultra Life, which is the 500 flower bioflavonoids with the mold spore removed from the pollen for his circulatory health and his pulmonary health. And then, of course, we would support him with like the Intuitive One for his kidneys, and let's see, the Intuitive Immunity for his kidneys, and support his immune system that way. So he would be high dosed, you guys, with almost everything in the store. And he's going to be fine. So I almost pray that I get a call because I want him to be fine. I really do. I have a heart for this, for everybody. And I'm going to be brokenhearted if something happens to him because of this.
Yeah, so the michaelkjaco.com, you go to the Intuitive Wellness, and all the products that we've been talking about are in that store, so you can get on those and turn your life around.
Yes.
If you're having problems, or keep
Yes.
yourself healthy, like many of us do now. So it's important to get the light in your body as
Yes.
much as possible.
Now,
You know,
if I can say this, so we have a saying in the practice for the last 20 years, and that is, when you're sick, sometimes it takes what we call a wheelbarrow full of nutrition to what otherwise, like in Michael's case, and a lot of people that don't feel sick, what otherwise might be just a spoonful of nutrition, often and almost always it takes a wheelbarrow full to overcome an issue to get your energy back to coherence. And so a lot of times people go, well, that's a lot of capsules. Well, it's not if you don't want to die, because we also have a saying that if if the biophotonic test can't fix you, it's probably time to die. And I don't say that lightly, because I believe the body can overcome almost anything. But people that are feeling fine, it might be a tablespoon of nutrition for you. But those of us, like, I'll tell you my journey sometime. But those people that are really struggling, like this Robbie, she's on a wheelbarrow full of nutrition out of the store so that she can just survive this super infection right now. And then, of course, it'll trickle down until her body tells the scan it doesn't need it anymore. So the body is the boss in everything we touch.
yeah,
Beautiful.
good. And there's a food detox link and detox your vaccines
Yeah.
and help oral infections. So that's the video for those are in the description box below this video. And there's also a link to Denise Love, who also does LifeWave. So you could get, if you're really into this and you're like, I've been wanting to get into LifeWave, so that would be a great way. She's in my team. Uh, you could join with her. You get EMF Harmonizer when you join with her, and you're probably going to get some good insights, deeper insights when you join with Raphael and so forth if you want those. All right. So we talk about how LifeWave Patch and the Intuitive Wellness line is a great combination.
Yeah.
So definitely get involved with those if you're not yet. There's a lot of home remedies out there, but home remedies will only get you so far. These are next level. So we want you guys to get the best, but at least be doing so. Clean your diet up, work out. Those are two of the best things you can do for yourself right now. You
Yes.
should be doing that constantly. And then next level would come up to using LifeWave and the Intuitive Wellness line. So
And forgive me for not mentioning that I would also had patched President Trump with X39, 49, Aeon energy enhancers. He would have them everywhere, and it would help speed up his detoxification.
yeah,
Guaranteed. As like
totally.
like I mentioned in the beginning, I could do 1,000 tests on him or anybody else with the patches, and it'll be the same.
Hmm.
It'll help restore coherence into the biofield. And
Yep.
his phones and his electronics have to be EMF harmonized, because that's
Yep.
very chaotic as well.
And if
But
President Trump wants to join under me, that's fine too. I'll help him out.
he
But
should
the
be.
X39 and X49, like you're talking about, are great for the heart. So
Yes.
if he's got biofilm problems, which sounds like he does, like you're saying, that's going after the heart pretty hard. So
And one of the things that I just feel right now to just share, because you say this all the time, but as we see and we're experiencing more and more stress and under attack, staying in the love vibration and loving one another more is just
yeah,
like more critical than ever before, while we're doing all this other stuff. It's
yeah.
just staying in that love place. Yeah.
And definitely say, you know, a prayer for President Trump. You know,
Yes.
he,
Yes.
I've been praying for him since he came down the escalator. It does help. I protect him. I put a bubble of protection around him, healing and everything. So who knows? Maybe he's been around a little bit longer than he probably would have. But I think with all of us, you know, joining in, we can have a massive effect. So regardless of whether President Trump is going to be with us longer or more short term, uh, still be very thankful to God that he has been, you know, at the point where he has come all this time. No one in history, I think, has ever done what he has done. Yep.
Yes. Yes. And that same prayer goes out to you, brother, and everyone who's listening. You know, bless you guys.
Yeah. Thank you. Same to you and your family.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Lots of love. Stay in that love vibration. We'll be back again next Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Every Wednesday, 1 o'clock. I'm pretty sure I don't know. I think it might be traveling, but if that's the case, we'll always push the show to another time frame or another day. So we're trying to get these in every week. So I know they help a lot of you guys, and you guys get a lot of good insight. So see you guys next time.
See you next time.